Hi everybody, it's Matt here. Hope you're all keeping well and not going too stir crazy staying at home, but well done for everybody that is staying at home. We're getting there one day at a time, aren't we? I wanted to give a bit of an update on the housing market. In particular, the government issued guidelines yesterday on moving home. I read them last night, thought, yeah, really sensible stuff. I'll do a little video on that in the morning. Then I woke up today to watch some cretin on BBC talking about it, and a load of people started texting me headlines and panicking a bit, and I thought, have they read something different to me? So I just wanted to kind of calmly explain it all, which is why I'm doing this video a little bit later in the day, because most of you that know me know I suffer from a severe medical condition called hanger, and I had to wait till after lunch to do the video. So we're going to go through a couple of stages in the house moving process. I'm going to talk about selling and buying at the moment, and we'll come on to rentals afterwards. But in the main, you've got a couple of stages, as I say. So there'll be some of you out there that have just started or are partway through the buying and selling process, and some of you that are really close to exchanging contracts or even exchange contracts. So if we start with the ones that are just kind of starting in the process, I mean, I did a video on this the other day with my opinion as to why you should probably just carry on with the transaction. But it's important to note that the government said in almost the first line, there is no need to pull out of a transaction. So the guidelines that the government have put out are to maintain social distancing. So if you've just agreed a sale, solicitors are working from home, everything's going to go a bit slower, but they can still apply for searches, they can still start the conveyancing process. You're very unlikely to get a survey to actually happen at the moment. Some mortgage valuations could be done online, but you know that will take a bit longer, and rightly so, because it has to be safe for the surveyors to go into properties. So yeah, basically, if you are partway through a transaction, nothing to worry about, but it will take a bit longer. The next part was if you are about to exchange contracts on a property. Now, what the government, again, is saying really is, if it's an unoccupied or an empty property, then you can go ahead and exchange and carry on as normal. However, if the property is occupied, they want you to delay exchanging contracts, or if you really want to exchange contracts, have a contractual clause that says, you know, if the moving date is delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, then you're not going to be legally liable for that. So, because for those of you who don't know, generally, when we say exchange, it's an unconditional exchange of contracts. So you commit to moving on a certain date. And obviously at the moment, it's a little bit uncertain when you can do. So I think if you get to the stage where you're ready to exchange contracts, as I say, if the property is empty and you can move safely and you can get removals, that's the key. And don't forget, if you exchange, you are generally bound to move unless you put a clause in there. So before you exchange, make sure you can get a removal. So unoccupied property, just carry on as normal. If it's occupied, then just wait. And I think everybody's got to be reasonable. Look, we're all legally ready. Let's just wait, and when we know we can actually get a move date, we'll exchange contracts, we'll be on our new house, you know, we'll be out, we'll be free, and what a great way to celebrate getting through all this in your nice new house. Those of you that have exchanged contracts, obviously there is, you know, a legal obligation to complete. What the government is saying is, if you can, between buyer and seller, say, look, can we just put the move date back a bit? That's something for your solicitors to discuss. If you can't, you can't, and you've got to move. But again, it has to be done with social distancing. And that's the key, isn't it? It's just about social distancing and making sure everybody's safe. So things can still happen, but as long as they're done in a safe way. So I think really, you know, people saying, oh, what the housing market, how's it going to be? Well, it's fine at the moment. You know, there was some genius on BBC this morning saying that there's 2/3 less properties come on the market this week than last week. Well, you know, yeah, of course, because of social distancing, as estate agents can't go to people's houses, we can't photograph them, we can't get them on the market. So it doesn't take a genius to know that if we can't go and photograph houses, there's going to be less coming onto the market. You know, you want that fellow on your team in a game of Cluedo, wouldn't you? But it doesn't mean because those levels are down that the market's going to crash or we're going to hit a big slump like that at all. I think it's just there's going to be a bit of a pause, and then when this is all done, it will all kind of carry on as normal. And for renters, what does that mean for renters? Well, again, the guidelines are, if the property is unoccupied, you can carry on. So again, every house or flat that we're letting is empty at the moment. We're doing virtual viewings. We've got video tours for the empty ones. today we've moved somebody into a property in a no contact way, so you know all the paperwork is done online. They came to the office, the envelope with keys was kind of left, I left them outside, they came, I watched them collect them, and on they went. So they've moved into their empty property safely with no contact. So it can still go on. Renting, I would say 100%. And as for sales, I don't think there's any need to panic. Just carry on as you are, providing we're being sensible and maintaining the social distancing rules. I hope you have found that helpful. As I say, headlines obviously are there to grab attention, but I think they can panic people. But if you want to discuss anything in any further detail, me, Neil, or any member of the team, are happy to help. The number's obviously 01245 835 859. Everybody stay safe and go and wash your hands.